Ani Kiniguya, Seiko Kwe, Tanse, Salut. Hello, everyone. My name is Aasiya Hussain, born and raised in Toronto for generations in gratitude and kinship with Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Huron-Wendat, of whom this is their ancestral, traditional, and unceded Indigenous territory. That the dish with one spoon, wampum belt, and Huron Robinson Huron treaties. Opte Boche Miigwech, Niawin, Tiawink, hi, and for the interpreters, these are various ways to say thank you. Thanks City of Toronto Budget Committee and Scarborough Civic Centre Subcommittee for accommodating me to present virtually. I'm joining you with lived experience and as the founding CEO of Ecohesian, ECOHESIAN, based in Toronto, and with our heart in Scarborough Rouge. We're members of the GTA Disability Coalition and the End Austerity Coalition. Ecohesian is a disability-led ENGO, environmental NGO, and consultancy led by melanated women with disabilities in kinship with Indigenous, Black, racialized, disabled, and multiply marginalized people, sharing the love of water, conservation, stewardship, sustainability, planetary health, disaster management, and decolonial intersectional justice from an anti-oppression lens. We center and serve the most at risk of people on planet, with nothing about us without us to leave no one behind, who face isolation, marginalization, exclusion, and harm from disparity and disasters. I face this daily as a brown hijabi racialized woman with disabilities and medically fragile health conditions. Once with you in person, now homebound in perpetual lockdown since long before this ongoing pandemic, due to severe health, disability, airborne risks, structural and systemic barriers, among the most at risk facing disproportionately disabling disparities and disasters. Like many in the disability community, often left behind by governance and society. Although I do know that there are many among you who are trying your hardest not to. We know that Toronto and our shared world is only as safe as the most at risk are. Which everyone will be one day, because it's not if, but when able people become disabled too from illness, injury, and aging. Our safety, living, thriving, justice, and liberation is intersectional, interconnected, and interdependent on not leaving behind the most at risk. When we prioritize funding prevention and mitigation for the most at risk of disparities and disasters, we bring collective safety, flourishing, and a just recovery. The opportunity cost of not doing so is far too great, perpetuating deadly disabling disasters and deficit. So please prioritize increasing funding for these 5 life-dependent, life-saving things. 1, AC heating and its electricity cost for homebound disabled people, elders, and patients in legislated poverty. It's great that you're already increasing funds for AC, yet the starting point of 1,000 units remains insufficient, leaving behind disabled people at most risk of fatal outcomes, for whom communal cooling and warming centers aren't airborne safe nor accessible. Almost 700 homebound disabled people were killed in Vancouver and Burnaby when they didn't provide AC during the heat dome. Let's not let this happen in Toronto, where our population is far higher, with many more homebound disabled people at risk of being killed without AC and climate control. Number 2, backup power generators during disasters for disabled people and patients in legislative poverty requiring constant power for medical devices like me, climate control, and accessibility. Funding this with EMS to fill gaps because evacuation is not an option as discussed earlier. 3, air, water, and health safety. Over 83% of early Toronto catastrophic COVID cases were Black and racialized disabled people. We witnessed this worsen with multiple airborne contagions and contaminants still peaking, killing, and disabling many more today. Let's protect each other, air we share, and water from contagions, pollution, fragrance, and anaphylaxis. Please fund air purification, FAR UVC disinfection, respirator masks, patient and wastewater testing, home visit vaccination, including Novavax. Sorry, I need to pause for a breath. treatment, tracing, education, accessible alerts, and incentives for safe communities, schools, workplaces, buildings, healthcare, transit, and everywhere air is shared and water flows. Almost done. Number 4, accessible, airborne, safe, affordable housing. Over 87% of women with disabilities risk being trapped and abused due to legislative poverty and lack of accessible, airborne, safe, affordable housing. Likewise, housing insecurity is skyrocketing for many across Toronto. Please fund gaps in COHB, HSF, rent banks, rent safe Toronto, and incentives to build rent-controlled, detached, affordable, accessible, airborne, safe garden suites that prioritize the most at risk, and also help investments for homeowners. Number 5, last, swift snow removal, including snowbanks and windrows. Prioritizing disabled people, elders, patients, people in poverty, and EMS. Our Snow Angels program confirms massive gaps in municipal snow removal, leaving snow mountains and ice blocking access for the most at risk and EMS. These are just 5 of many disability justice, climate justice, health, safety, disaster, and human rights issues needing your prioritization. Please do so to save lives and prevent expensive, deadly, disabling disasters. The city can do so, as it spends more on policing than ambulance, fire services, community housing, and other essential services combined. Consider instead reallocating some of this and the not yet allocated $2 million to prioritize funding, protecting, and serving the most at-risk of people and planet. Let's pour into this collective safety, living, and thriving. Optico Jimwich Miawin, Tiawing, hi, merci, and thanks for your time and consideration. Again, this is Aasiya Hussain, CEO of Ecohesian, and eternally grateful for your striving.